Well, that news will offer some much-needed hope to NHS staff throughout the UK. The Faculty of Intensive Care Medicine says that many hospitals are now overwhelmed, with some staff almost on their knees after many months of treating desperately ill patients. And that is certainly the distressing reality of life at the Royal London Hospital. And tonight, in the second of his special reports, Clive Myrie discovers the heavy price being paid by both staff and patients.
The birth of a new day brings a familiar demon. More COVID infections and more death. And it's others who must stare into the abyss to spare our eyes.
I'm sorry.
Like Hannah, a senior mortician at the Royal London Hospital, part of a small team of just 5 that's handled hundreds of bodies in this pandemic.
How do you ever prepare for people just dying and dying and dying, you know? Although it's our job and we deal with dead people every day, this level, I think, is taking its toll.
Does it feel like a conveyor belt?
It does in a way, yeah. And I hate to say that because I hate to think of it like that, but yeah, it is almost, yeah.
That's what the pandemic's done. I mean,
yeah.
It's no one's fault.
No. Sorry. I've done this for years, you know. I'm just, when someone says to you, how does it make you feel when you're saying how it makes you feel? Well, yeah, this is how it makes me feel.
The inner turbulence revealed. And yet outer strength is what we crave, a brave face in those fighting the virus on our behalf. As every day the hospitals fill up, including the Royal London.
How many floors are taken up by COVID patients here?
We've got patients on the 3rd floor, 4th floor.
This ward goes all the way around to the other side. It's 29 patients.
6th floor, 7th floor, 8th floor.
Another COVID patient in here.
9th floor.
Another one in here.
10th, 11th.
Again, round to the other side. That's another 29 patients.
12th, 13th.
This is our 3rd ward with 31 patients.
And then obviously up here.
So each 4 of these 4-bedded bays contain COVID patients.
The 14th and the 15th floor, so that's 12 floors in total.
12 out of 15 floors, more than 400 patients. And there aren't enough staff. It's madness. And curiously, despite all the drugs and fancy equipment, the simple technique of periodically turning over a COVID patient or proning can help force oxygen into scarred lungs. But the manpower needed is immense. Turning and turning and turning again. Day after day. And in the middle of the storm, consultant Mari Healy.
Yeah, it's fairly urgent.
A commanding presence.
Yes, still coming. Go, go, go. All right, that's your first day.
And a friend to all.
I don't know what I've done about you today.
For those less scrupulous about social distancing and wearing masks, she gives the benefit of the doubt, despite the effect on the NHS.
I think the public want to do the right thing, but I don't feel they understand fully the scale of the problem. So I don't feel taken for granted. We don't.
So you think the public don't get the pressure that is on everyone working in this hospital and up and down the country?
I definitely don't think they do, because I think if they did, they really wouldn't hesitate to do the right thing.
Back on the ward, the oxygen levels plummet of a COVID patient in their mid-20s. Proning must be quick, but more specialist care may be necessary to oxygenate the blood through an artificial lung. Consultant PJ Zolfagari, who predicted a second coronavirus wave, calls Papworth Hospital in Cambridge to see if they'll take the patient.
Ventilation has become very difficult again just now.
As Cathy McGloin leads the team, trying to keep her alive. But there's bad news.
So you're full, is that right?
Now the pressure's really on, but quiet professionalism kicks in.
Not too good. The breathing is not great. The breathing. Okay, yeah, good.
Relief. Enough oxygen is now finally reaching the patient's lungs. And yet Kathy isn't an intensive care doctor. She's a consultant anaesthetist, offering a helping hand like the trauma surgeons, paediatricians, immunologists, all mucking in during this appalling COVID crisis.
I feel a lot better now.
How worried were you?
I'm sweating, and it's not just the PPE. So, I mean, she's young, she's someone's relative. This is something precious that we're holding and we're trying to do. Yeah, it's quite frightening.
Frightening. One word that defines COVID's second wave for the NHS. Heartbreaking is another, as Mari Healy checks on a 28-year-old man with no underlying conditions, but who's been on a ventilator for more than 3 weeks.
Obviously very distressing, and this is a very serious complication at this stage. He's also got other family members in critical care as we speak.
Time to call his wife.
Now, I know he is quite sick. He could die from this, by the way. I'm sorry to have to say that. I know, love. I know. I know. Don't worry. We're doing everything we can for him. Very difficult because it's very difficult because this poor family have been through a huge amount, and they're actually so nice that makes it more difficult.
The inner turbulence revealed. The rain mirrors Shamima's recent tears for her family.
So that's him there.
She took Mari's call as her husband fights for his life. His condition remains serious, on life support. Clive Myrie, BBC News.